Hey everybody, Chef Danny Davies here, and I'm out in the Bahamas at Atlantis, which is just over there out of shot, with Chef Shaun Byers. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
Fist pump. There we go.
How you doing, man?
So my boat is on the other side of the camera, and Shaun's boat is here. And I saw him yesterday when I got into town and said, hey, you want to shoot a video? He said yes. So we're here. Let's find out more about Shaun. So Shaun, where are you from?
Originally Sydney,
Australia. Yeah. Australia.
Did all my cooking training in Melbourne, though.
In Melbourne?
Yeah.
So tell me, Shaun, how did you get into becoming a chef? Was it something you did at a young age or later on?
I finished school and I was having a chat to a friend of the family who was a chef running a restaurant, and we had like this long 2-hour conversation about it all, and he said to me, come in on Monday, try it out.
Oh yeah? And so how old were you then?
I was just finished school, so I was about 17, 18.
17, 18?
Yeah, and then I walked around the block twice. I thought, fuck it, why not, And I walked in and never looked back.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. What did you do, start in the pot washing the dishes?
Yeah, spent the first few days in the pot wash and then went straight into garde.
Oh, nice.
Cut my finger on the second day, went as white as a ghost. I've still got the scar on my finger. Yeah, it was amazing.
Fantastic.
Amazing time.
Friend of the family's first restaurant.
Yep.
What kind of style of food did you serve there?
It was just sort of like probably bit better than pub food.
Oh yeah.
And then I was
like
there.
Gastro-y pub food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bit of an Asian influence. And then when I was a second-year apprentice, I went and worked at the Pavilion, which turned into Donovan's.
That's a famous restaurant in Melbourne.
Yeah, famous restaurant in Melbourne. And basically the chef there said, I saved you from being a pub chef. and he was right, and from there my
true,
career
right,
just
went. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, it's true. I started in pubs.
Yeah.
And quickly got into restaurants, and it's such a difference, isn't it?
Oh,
I mean,
most
you do the work in the pubs with the numbers, but the food refinery is a lot higher level.
Exactly.
So you telling me you got into restaurants?
Yeah, and just learning the proper flavour combinations, and he had, at that stage it was very Asian influenced at the restaurant, seafood restaurant, and then the head chef changed and the style sort of changed as well, and then which was more of a Italian feel.
Oh right, yeah.
And then the head chef changed again for an Italian chef, and then it was more of a very Italian feel to the menu. Then I finished there.
So you did a 2-year apprenticeship as well?
4 years.
4 years
apprenticeship.
So how old are you now when you leave in the now Italian restaurant?
21, 22.
21? Yeah, still young, still
ready.
ready.
I mean, it was still a seafood restaurant. It was always predominantly a seafood restaurant, but it had a very heavy Italian feel at that stage. And then, and then I went to work on Hayman Island.
Hayman Island, what's that? Tell me about that.
It's a 5-star resort up in far north Queensland.
Sweet. And what position did you have there?
Commie
chef?
Yeah, commie chef. And then went to demi chef de partie.
Nice. Running your own section?
Yeah, I was running garnish.
Garnish.
Yeah. And then left there and then went to England. Yeah, it was
the
awesome.
best place for cooking.
Exactly. Yeah.
So tell me about England. You hit London or whereabouts?
Yeah, London. Worked in London for a year, and then we went, and I've travelled to Canada and spent 11 months in Whistler, working in two of the best restaurants in town. Yeah,
I've worked in Whistler for a while. Yeah, we went ice climbing in Whistler. We were out in Banff when I was in the military. Yeah, beautiful place.
Yeah.
Skiing on that big rock.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, I didn't go skiing or snowboarding once while I was there.
You didn't. He just in the kitchen cooking.
I was loving cooking so much there. I just didn't want to go. I was enjoying it way too much. I went downhill mountain biking in the summer.
In the summer.
But I was just enjoying my cooking way too much, and I just worked all the time.
Awesome, beautiful place though, isn't it, Banff?
Yeah.
Whistler.
I wanted to. As soon as
any bears?
We had black bears in our backyard.
Yeah, we had black bears come and get in our camp and everything. It was crazy.
It was amazing stuff. And then went back to the UK.
Yeah.
And spent like 9 years in the UK.
So how old are you then? Around that 9 year mark?
22.
22. So 9 years, hitting 30.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you get into yachting?
I was doing a ski season.
Oh, right.
And in Morzine Warriors.
Okay, yeah.
And the first lot of my guests were all yachties, captains, chief stews, deckhands, and they.
So you're cooking for the lodge, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For people who don't know
exactly.
the ski season, out in Switzerland, Germany, France, all around the areas where the big ski resorts are, there's lodges, and a lot of yacht chefs will do the season there, which is they go in, you get guests come into the lodge, right, and you're cooking them lunch and breakfast and dinner, same like you do on the yacht, but you're at the lodge and they're out skiing. But some guys get out to ski, don't they, and get in a pass and do breakfast and then shoot off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Had heaps of chances to go learn how to snowboard. And and they basically said at the end of their stay, I think they were there for nearly 2 weeks, because it was right at the beginning of the season, and they said, go to Antibes, do this, and this, and you'll get a job. And at the end of the season, I went down to Antibes and did my courses, and eventually I got some day work. For the Monaco Grand Prix, and then I got my first job.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Tell me
awesome.
about your first job. What boat was it?
I got a job on the White Rose.
White Rose. So what size?
65 metres,
Wow.
sous chef.
Nice.
Yeah.
First job, 65 metre.
Yeah, it was awesome. The owner's chef was a guy called Michael Lawson.
Shout out to him if he's still about.
No, he's passed away now, but
R.I.P. chef.
He's one of his favourite things to tell people was that he's in White Heat. As if you read the foreword of White Heat, Marco Pierre White talks about the gentleman chef. That's Michael Lawson. He taught Marco Pierre White in the early days of Marco Pierre White.
Wow. And then he taught you.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you learn a lot from him then as a sous chef?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, he was only there for, the summer months, for the boss trip.
Yeah, when the boss is on,
Yeah, exactly. But when the boss was on board, outside of those summer months, I got the opportunity to cook for the boss, and it was awesome.
Awesome.
It was a great experience.
So how long did you spend on that boat?
Almost 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah. I was there for almost 3 years.
That's awesome, man. Well
Yeah,
done.
it was
Did you
fun.
step up to head chef eventually, or?
No, Michael was always there. So he passed away after I left. I'd left.
So you left. Where did you go to?
I did a season on Sanu, 40 meter CRN, and then which was
Sole
alright.
chef?
Yeah, sole chef.
Cut your teeth.
Yeah, it was busy boat.
Charter boat?
No, purely private.
But busy, right?
Very busy. Yeah, the owner was on board for about 2 months.
Solid.
Yeah. Ibiza, Palma, south of France. It was good boat.
How long did you stay on there
crew. Just a season.
Just a season?
Yeah, and then I finished there, and I did a freelance job on, I think it was iDynasty.
Okay. What size was that?
That was a 65 meter.
65 as the head
Yeah.
chef?
Yeah. And
Sweet.
Then, I was chatting to the boat next door to me, and they were going across the Atlantic, and I said, "Oh, do you need any extra crew?" So I did the crossing as a deckhand. Did it for free.
Nice.
As a deckhand, which was fun. I did a little bit of cooking here and there, but pretty much did watches and washed the boat. So
And where did you cross to?
Antigua.
Antigua.
Yeah. And then did the Antigua boat show with Shore Solutions.
Shoreside Solutions?
No.
Shore Solutions.
Shore Solutions.
So this is a while ago, right?
This was ages ago. This was before they went bust and they did the dirty on. But
Sure, talk about that.
and then and then I did freelance work for 2 seasons. I did freelance in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Which was fun. There was
Yeah,
lots of
I love the
fun.
Caribbean, right? St. Bart, St.
Yeah.
Martin, St. Thomas,
Exactly.
St.
And then
Lucia if you get down that far.
I never got that far. I've done all the main islands: Antigua, St. Bart's, St. Kitts, St. Martin,
BVI's.
BVI's, US Virgin Islands, and then I went to the Med and did a season there, freelancing. I loved it. I was good at it.
Yeah.
Walking on a boat that was in the shit and just pulling it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what freelancing is really,
Exactly,
isn't it?
exactly. I loved it. It was so much fun. And then I got put forward for a job on a boat called A2.
A2.
Yeah, 47 meter fedship, old school boat. And took me a few phone calls with the captain to get the job. But eventually gave me the job, and I went to the most amazing place ever. We went to Alaska.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
How was
the
that?
most amazing place I've ever been.
So you're going to Anchorage there when you get there, right?
No, we went Vancouver, and then we cruised up the coast to Ketchikan.
Okay.
And then we literally spent 3 months almost in the Inside Passage.
Wow,
From
totally remote,
Ketchikan
eh?
all the way up to Juneau, Sitka, Skagway, Glacier Bay, Tracy's Arms, Annam Bear Sanctuary.
Wow.
It was absolutely the most amazing place.
I bet it was difficult to get provisions and stuff out there, right?
It wasn't too bad. I used Chef's Garden for a lot of my fresh produce, and then used the supermarket, and then I provisioned all my meat in Vancouver before we got it.
So you stocked up before you went up.
Stocked up the freezers, and then when we got to Ketchikan, there was a sort of like a big fish market just up the road from where the marina was. And so I just got a few basics just so we had some in case the deckhands weren't able to catch fish. So I got some king salmon, I got some halibut, I got some cod, and then just to start us off, just to start us off. And then the boys caught 110-pound halibut off the back of the boat. This thing was as big as me.
Yeah, I bet it was. Like this big.
Yeah, it was huge. I had a center island in the galley, and it took up the whole thing. And it was amazing. It was so fresh, cutting into it, and you can feel the meat was just pulsing in your hands.
Yeah,
it was just
sounds gross, but it'd be delicious.
It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so
I'm from Alaska. What happened next? Where did you go?
And then we went down south to San Francisco for the America's Cup.
Lovely. I've never been on that side.
Yeah, that was amazing. We spent most of our time in Sausalito. Had some good sushi there. Good sushi. The America's Cup being there was amazing. You know? And then we headed south to San Diego. And then we had to shoot after a yard period there. We shot around back to Miami.
Fantastic.
For Art Basel.
Oh right, yeah. So you spent a long time on that boat?
Yeah, I was there for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
So we're at what age we're at now? Kind of in our 30s.
Yeah, so 35, I think. About.
And so
36.
how long have you been doing yachting?
12, 13 years.
Wow.
And it's funnily enough, about 10 of those is with the same captain.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet. Hey, how that works out, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So has he been getting you the jobs? Or
yeah, he just rings me up and goes, "I need a chef," and I've gone, "Yep, no worries, I'm there."
Awesome. Do you want to tell me about a couple more boats you've been on?
Yeah, let's see. So after A2, I worked on where have I worked? Damani, 45-meter Benetti. I spent 5 years on there.
Sole chef again?
Sole chef.
Private or charter?
Busy private charter boat. Yeah, we were a busy boat.
And where were you kind of based for that long?
Both Med and Caribbean.
So you do dual season, they call it, right?
What we used to do is we'd spend one summer in the Med. The next summer we'd go up northeast. So we'd go up Newport. We went all the way up to Nova Scotia.
All that,
Halifax, Nova Scotia.
It's beautiful around there, isn't it?
It was amazing. And then back to Newport, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, all those places. We spent COVID up there as well. Had a busy summer over COVID, and then I left there, and then did a few other smaller jobs, and then worked on Impromptu.
Oh yeah, I know the boat. Yeah.
Bacchus. I was at my first rotational job on there.
Oh yeah.
Which was cool.
Bacchus.
Yeah.
With the Turkish guy, right?
No, the owner was American.
Oh right. Oh, I'm thinking of a different boat. I'm thinking of Babas.
Yeah.
No.
No, he was a Texan guy. So yeah, that was cool. Actually, one of the very first few times I got a standing ovation from the owner.
Oh, sweet.
Which was cool. It always, it makes you feel good.
It does, right? It's like a little medal you can pin on your chest.
Exactly. Yeah. When I get caught up with the thing, I get a standing ovation. You're the man. So it makes you feel good.
So what's happening now with you?
I'm here on Valinor until about towards the end of August.
Okay.
Then I'm off to Japan.
Oh, nice. Tell me about that. What's happening in Japan?
I'm going to the Tokyo Sushi Academy.
Oh, fantastic.
For 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to be a sushi master by the end of that,
I don't know about that, but my sushi's good, but I want to be better.
Yeah, and that's the place to go, hey?
Exactly. It's where everyone talks about, having a great course, 5 weeks, and then you don't even get a certificate unless you pass the exam.
Oh, right.
Apparently the exam's pretty hardcore.
In Japanese?
Well, hopefully it's in English, man. Otherwise, I'll be a bit screwed. And then after that, I'm flying to Italy to join a new build.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that as well. It's one of my previous bosses who's asked me to come and be the chef on there.
That's awesome, man. What a career.
Yeah, it's going to be good fun.
If you've got any advice for new guys getting into the industry, or girls, chefs that want to become yacht chefs, what advice would you give them?
Learn your job first. At least spend a year in a restaurant. Learn your job, and then learn how to handle the pressure. Because not all chefs can be a yacht chef.
Yeah, it's true, right?
They don't have the right temperament. They don't handle change at the very last second very well.
There's a lot of change.
Exactly. The boss coming in and go, I'm not feeling this menu now. Can we have something else? Or the guests going off for dinner, and then they, literally, they get to the restaurant, they turn around and come straight back to the boat.
Yeah, I've had that before.
Yeah, can we have dinner on board? And it's like, yep, no worries. And you
the wait's too long at the restaurant, so they come back to the boat.
They're not feeling the vibe, and it's like, yep, no worries. And you smash that, put something together for them.
Yeah, and there's so much more to it as well, isn't there? There's the provisioning. You've got to look after the crew, changing locations all the time. And I mean, I say provisioning as one thing, but it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It's got to come to the boat, and you've got to organise that and get it all together.
Put it away,
it's
so you know where to find it.
Yeah, and there's not the space there is on a regular kitchen, is there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've worked on some boats that have had amazing storage on the boat, and then I've worked with some, and it's like almost nothing.
Almost nothing, yeah.
And you
stuff it.
Yeah, exactly. You're cramming it into the back corner, and then you're at sea, and then all of a sudden the freezer starts giving in, and it's like you're stressing because you're worried about the food defrosting and then all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I've had all those things as well. So.
And Shaun, if you could go back in time and give yourself advice before you started yachting, what would you tell yourself?
Be a deckhand.
Be a deckhand. I love it, man. Well, thanks very much for that.
Way more fun than us.
Yeah, that's true, right? All they've got to do is rinse the boat down.
Exactly. They get to drive the tenders.
Yeah.
Drive the jet
skis.
Toys. Yeah, exactly. While we're stuck in the galley.
Thanks very much for that, Shaun. I appreciate it. For more videos from me, go to Behind the Line with Chef Denny Davies on YouTube, or check out my Instagram at Future Chef Project. If they want to find out more from you, Shaun, where can they see your work?
Instagram. Cooking with Shauno.
And I'll put that there, Cooking with Shauno. Pleasure to meet you again, sir.
Thank you so much, mate.
Badda done, badda done, badda done.